I had an interesting experience with this one. I was browsing in a department store, sprayed this on my hand, and absolutely hated it. I left the store, walking in the parking lot, but even before I got to my car, I was already smelling my hand where I sprayed this. And for weeks after that, I kept wanting to go back and spray it again. This is bad, intense from the House of Diesel. Spray time. A lot of juice. Now the bottle, you can tell right here, is kind of like an alligator skin. 75 ml. It's very powerful juice. Now one of my favorite fragrances is Dior Fahrenheit. Right here. It smells like when you're filling up your car with gas and accidentally spill the gasoline on your hand. That's what this one smelled like to me in the beginning. When I first got it, I first thought was my bottle went bad. There's no way the perfumer purposely made something to smell like this. And there's no way anybody would want to buy this stuff. Guess what happened? After I bought that EDT, I bought the cologne version, and then I bought the Le Parfum version. Yeah, so much for hating it in the beginning. What I'm saying is I really learned that no matter how much I hate something initially, I gotta slow down, sleep on it, give it time, and my nose might adjust to the smell. Just like this 3. Now, what I get on top from this bad, intense, is that fresh bergamot, kind of cinnamony nutmeg, and caviar. And nope, I did not pick that out myself. I had no idea what I was smelling. I was shocked. My nose was shocked. And then it kind of blocked my senses. So I had no idea. After I purchased it, I had to look it up. And sure enough, that caviar was the culprit, the dominant thing that was screwing everything up. Yeah, the fish egg, the caviar, the fish egg, the salty fish egg. How cool is that, right? Now the caviar dominates and it alters the whole composition. That's why I can tell what the other notes were. Now after the first few wearings and kind of dissecting a little bit and looking it up, and after the initial shock kind of wore off, I started to appreciate very much this complex type of scent. For example, the strong base of that sweetness is not just from one source. My nose is telling that this sweet smells like nutmeg or tobacco or some sweet wood or a tiny bit of chocolate. Yeah, in a very small way, that sweet reminds me of Invictus Intense. And that tobacco, this tobacco in here smells like Versace the Dreamer. And that fish egg, the Versace the Dreamer, I get vibes of this one in there. And that fish egg saltiness smells like squid from Zoologist. If you say, Dave, you are all over the place with this one. I know, right? That's how I felt. This fragrance is all over the place, and that's why I was hooked. I don't know about you, but I love interesting scents, and this one packs a punch. The funny thing was, the first time my wife smelled it, and she kind of recoiled, like pulled her head back, seriously. But after a couple seconds later, she smelled it again, and she said it smells nice, like sweet flower. She was also shocked by the initial sniff, but okay. But afterwards, she liked it. She said it smells nice. And for me, also after the initial shock, I smelled the prominent caviar. And yeah, I'll be so interested to see what you guys pick up, okay? This one is one of those that words cannot really describe. I think different people will have different interpretation. And at different times, I pick up different things. For me, it's kind of like an onion. The top layer is surrounded by the whole thing. It feels like it's caviar kind of dominating. And then on the inside of the onion, I smell the white tobacco mixed with the spicy cinnamon and nutmeg and wood. And also with that Invictus sweet kind of sweetness. If you know what Invictus smells like, this has vibes of that. And in the back, I pick up some chocolate and some flour. Okay. And if you say, Dave, your description is so weird. Well, no, actually, this is not weird. It is for sure different, okay? It is for sure very different. But it's not weird in a bad way. You gotta go into this expecting something different than your typical scent. Okay, if you care about using the phrase niche, this smells niche. Now, this is under $50 for 75 ml, and it's gonna last a while. It packs a punch. It gives me like 6 to 8 hours projection, and very decent. 6 to 8 hours of longevity, and the projection is very decent, but it does not fill the room, right? I would use it. I actually use this sometimes, few times a year, except the high heat. But I'll spray it on when I want some interesting. But to me, it's not super versatile. I'm not sure, how people react to it, especially my own initial experience. But afterwards, I really enjoy it. It's important that because my wife said it smells nice, and she's a newbie, so I kind of use it as a gauge, as a representation of how casual people will smell this, and she said she liked it, but she did recoil initially. All right, I'm pretty sure this is very different than most of the stuff that I have. Maybe like 80% of my collection, this will smell very different than those. It's just not your run-of-the-mill scent, and that's why I keep smelling it. Yeah, kind of like smelling sauce that wakes up my senses. I don't know how to explain, but just so unique. And you can guess, I don't have anything exactly like this. Okay, just a little bit similarity here and there at different fragrances. Now, after all the mumbling, Dave, what does it smell like? Okay, what I basically pick out is that spicy cinnamon, nutmeg, caviar, some fresh fruit, maybe bergamot. And it's not super sweet, but there's sweetness in the background, like I said. And that sweet is not from your typical tonka beans or anything like that. It's from the spicy cinnamon and nutmeg thing. And the tobacco flower, that's where I get the most reminder from this Versace Dreamer, right? But the caviar, there's a bit of saltiness in there. And it's really cool in that. The more I smell it, the more intrigued I am with it. But it's not everyday wear for me. I don't wear this too often. Like I said, a few times a year when I want something very different. Something just kind of wake me up a little bit, wake my nose up a little bit. So that's what I use it for. And you want to be intrigued, right? So this is many type of scents. I think it can be versatile. I don't know. Let's just say halfway, okay? Since I had difficulty, but my wife liked it. I don't really wear this one out in public because I don't want those people to recoil like what I did and my wife. So I kind of took that into account. But other than that, it is intriguing, nice scent. This is one of those I think you have to test it out for yourself. It is one of my most interesting scents. You might not think it's interesting because, like I said, everybody gonna smell it different, okay? So you kind of see I'm kind of in between, having trouble recommending or not, but I absolutely love this one, okay, if you want something interesting. All right, then I hope that's kind of helpful though. Yeah. Let me know if you have smelled this one. What is your take on it? Is it really as interesting as I smelled it, or you're completely like blah about this? Very interesting to know. As always, see you next time.